Hi guys! What's wrong with my voice?
Purple, yellow and red.
I have absolutely no clue what just happened to my voice. Anyhow, welcome guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Henry and I hope you are guys doing well. I do well, even though I had my wisdom teeth removed 4 days ago. As you can see, I don't know what happened, but my cheeks are even not swollen. It makes absolutely no sense because everybody told me like, oh, this is the worst experience I've ever had, wisdom teeth and stuff like that, but I have actually nothing. And I also can talk right now. I'm shooting a YouTube video. I might regret it, I don't know, but we will see. What we are going to do for today's video is very cool because I've tried something very cool, obviously, and I generally think this is my new hobby and I will share this more often on my YouTube channel because this was so much fun and I can fully recommend it to you guys. What we are going to do, as you might recognize in my title and might recognize in the intro, is we are going to do a little... It's not working. Appa rug. How cute is this rug? I can't get over it. And without further ado, let's jump right into the DIY. Alright guys, this kind of method or DIY is called tufting, and you can either do it with a tufting gun or a punching needle. For my DIY, I've used a punching needle because since like I'm a beginner and I wanted to try it out for the first time, I thought, okay, I save some money and buy only a punching needle. It's about like 8 euros on Amazon. I'm gonna link my set, my kit in the description below, but you can also do it with a tufting gun, which is more like for bigger projects, I'd say, like big carpets, big rugs. But if you want to use it for like small projects like this little rug, or you want to hang up rugs, I don't know, I think I can definitely recommend a punching needle for your first try as well. I've used for this video a 3mm hook needle. I don't know how to call this. I think like a needle. You also gonna need a monk cloth. This is the specific type of cloth fabric you're gonna need to make your rug. It has some sort of holes where you punch your needle through and where it stabilizes the whole carpet design. Oh yeah, and my monk cloth is about 76 centimeters long and 50 centimeters wide, so it's more like a small one. What else you're gonna need is obviously some thread. I've seen so many like tutorials in tufting where they use cotton thread, but I think I figured that also, especially if you have lots of yarn from your crocheting projects at home, it is definitely worth using crocheting yarn. I'm using the Bravo, Schachenmeier Bravo yarn. It's 3.5 millimeters thick, I guess. As for the colors, I'm using the brown shades. It's a dark brown and a light brown and obviously black and white. Even though the white is more like a ecru. As well, you're gonna need some scissors, of course, and some wool needles. What I've almost forgot is you also need your design, actually. And as for my design, I decided to do the little Appa. If you don't know Appa, it's like a cute little animal. No, it's actually big. From Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is a TV show, which I absolutely love. I thought like this is the cutest thing to have it as a rug. So as I printed out my design, I wanted to transfer it obviously to my cloth. I saw one girl on the YouTube video. I'm gonna link all the inspiration I got my video from and my skills from, which taught me actually, in the description below as well. The girl I watched did it on the window actually, so I did this as well. So I hung up my design, then I applied my cloth above it, and then I just transferred it with some simple pen. And I figured out at the end that like a Sharpie, some sort of pen like a Sharpie, is working better than just a pencil. Once you have transferred your pattern to the monk cloth, you're gonna apply it to your frame and have it stabilized and stretched. So what I did is I used my stapler to apply the cloth to the frame. I built this frame, but you can also use a canvas frame, which is way easier because it's already built. But you're gonna need something out of wood to apply it because you might wanna staple your cloth in, or you want to hammer some nails to stabilize it. What I I did is I obviously stapled this in, and I also got some help from my dad actually, because it was kind of hard to stretch the whole fabric on your own. So it is definitely handy to have a second person helping you this setting up. So once I've applied the cloth, the monk cloth or my design to the frame, I started actually the tufting process. So what I can fully recommend is to use some books actually on the sides to lift it up a little bit, and then you can work very smoothly throughout the process actually. Okay, as we start the tufting process, we're gonna set up our yarn first. So as you can see, the yarn has a little hole on the hook or in the needle, and what we are going to use is our little metal wire. I don't know how this is called. It's like some sort of loop hook, and we are going to put our little metal piece or wire into the little hole on your needle, and then we're gonna put our yarn thread into the little hole, and then we're gonna pull it all the way through the little hole, and then we have set up our needle. When you start your tufting process, make sure when you use your yarn that you roll it up a little bit, because then you have some excess which is a little bit loose, and you will see that your loose end of your yarn is gonna pop out on the other side of the needle, which has a little hole as well. And this also needs to be loose all the time. When you start your punching process, you always make your first punch, and then you pull the excess thread through the loop, like pull it all the way through, facing on the other side, and then you do your next punch. How the process is working is you punch the needle all the way through, and then you go up again. And now comes the very important part. You lift up your needle only slightly above the surface of your cloth, and then you go on and build your next punch, and then you punch in again, go up again, build your next loop for your carpet, and you slightly move it along further the line of your outline and punch it in. You always have to make sure that the big hole, like this very large hole of your needle, is facing the direction you want to go. So the little hole on the back side where your thread is looped through is always on the back side. So this is the way you're gonna go on your punching needle process. I tufted the whole outline first with the black, and what I can say is you do not need that much yarn, because I first had like for each color 3 balls of yarn, because I thought like, oh, you're gonna need lots of yarn, but I figured out for the black I only used like 1.5 balls. For the white I only used 1.5 balls as well. For the light brown, I only used not even 1 ball. And for the dark brown ball, I only used 1 ball, which is so less. So when you are finished with a spot, or like finished with a certain section of your carpet, and you want to move on to the next section, or you want to move on to the next color, you definitely have to close your punching process, obviously, or finish your punching process. And this is very simple as well. You just cut up the thread on top of your needle, like the loose end of your thread, and then you just pull it through on the other side, and it's all done. You do not have to do any knots or something like that. It's all done. Once you have finished all the punching needle process, you obviously turn it around and check your design. It looks so cool. The carpet looks almost actually done. Alright guys, I was in the middle of editing, so this is like the day after, and I just figured out that I forgot to tell something very important. As I moved the rug, actually I trimmed the rug in order to get rid of all the excess yarn and to have all the sticking out yarns for your rug on the same length, so you can give it a little bit of a haircut, and that's what I'm doing. Alright, and then you go ahead removing the monk cloth from your frame. I'm using like a tool for this because it's way easier for the process. Afterwards you can decide what you're going to do with that, because I saw so many other people using the rug not actually as a rug, more like as a pillowcase, or they put it on, it depends on how big your rug is, on their clothes. Imagine like doing this little Appa thingy a little bit smaller, and you can put it on a hoodie. That would look so dope. I decided though to turn it to a rug, so I cut out the monk cloth around my Appa design. And for this you have to make sure that you leave a little bit excess of about 2 centimeters of the edges of your rug, because this is very essential then for the sewing process later on to secure the carpet or rug and build your edges or like the frame around the rug to secure everything and have everything rounded up smoothly. And as for the sewing process, or more like securing process, there are 2 types of ways you can either do it. Either you glue the backside of it and put like another type of cloth on top of it and make this stick to the backside of your carpet. But since I want to see like my design from the other side, there's also another way to secure your carpet by just sewing around the edges or around your carpet design to build like a little frame. And for this I'm using like the normal crocheting yarn. As you might know from my crocheting projects, I'm using like wool needles. These kind of wool needles are working fine for the sewing project. So I'm taking my yarn double-stranded. That means that I put my yarn through the little hole of the wool needle, take it double-stranded and tie a little knot at the end of both strands. And then I start the sewing process and sew around the edges of my carpet. This will take you a while, it takes lots of time, and when you are done with the sewing process, the carpet is done and we can have a look at the final result. Alright guys, so this is my little Appa rug. I'm super confident how this turned out and I'm so motivated to do even bigger rugs. I might get a tufting gun. I'm considering to get one. What I can also say, it's super soft and so cozy to stand on it. If you guys like this video, please give it some thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, then feel free to subscribe to the channel for more DIY videos in the future. Yeah, if you haven't checked out my socials yet, then feel free to check out my socials shared on the screen. I hope you guys liked this tutorial and I can't wait to be back in the next video. So I see you guys soon. Bye bye. I'm out. Ciao.